You're watching FARC Racing on OEN. Now, what does that say about you? FARC Racing on OEN is brought to you by Karl Superstores, your number one choice in one-stop shopping, and soon to be your only choice. The field of 20 is set for the 150-lap feature here at the Karl Superstore in Riverside, California. However, AJ Young, who was supposed to start 20th, crashed his car during hot laps and did not take the start. This leaves his teammate Kevin Monroe as the sole M&J representative in this race. Monroe leads the field to the green flag for the 9th time this season. That's Jim Hayes in the purple 77 on Monroe's outside. They shared the front row at Buffalo as well. Ryan Matthews and Harry Asinola get together and there's trouble. Matthews and Joseph Howard go around. It looks like Ryan Griffin got a little bit of help from Radomir Stanichev and got turned into the 61. And that sends Joseph Howard and Ryan Matthews around. The caution does not come out here on the first lap, but the caution would come out as Zach Webster gets shoved into the wall by Ralph West. Not a good start so far for Zach Webster, who's been desperately trying to have a trouble-free race weekend. Kevin Monroe continues to lead on the restart. Jim Hayes had a look out of turn 2, but couldn't get it done, and now he comes under attack from Harry Asinola. Bjorn Green teammates, Joel Rodriguez and Ashley Tucker, going at it for 6th. Neither of them have a clear advantage right now. Rodriguez does have the preferred line, but there's a patch on the outside of turn 2 where you can get a huge run on a car on your inside, and there goes Tucker with a huge burst of speed, and that's been keeping them very even throughout these last few laps. Joseph Howard, as he tries to work his way through the field, gets into the back of the 81 of George Bryan, turns him around. Caution doesn't come out, though. However, Michael Madrigal and Zachary Zins get together, take each other into the wall out of turn 2. Vicker collision glass caution out once again on lap 19. Kevin Monroe continues to lead the race. The battle for third is on between Radomir Stanichev and Harry Asinola. Stanichev won his sprint earlier in the day. It was his first career win, but right now Roos Autosport is trying to get that car home in one piece. They've had a lot of trouble doing that over these last few weeks. They would finish high enough in the sprints, but then the car would blow up in the feature. However, this race is only 30 miles, so getting to the finish shouldn't be much of a problem. Ralph West gets squeezed into the wall, and here comes traffic. Monica Rook and Joseph Howard are collected. The track is completely blocked. Here come the leaders. Kevin Monroe smashes into the 25 car, not seeming to pay much attention at all. Jim Hayes in second gets collected as well. Heavy damage on the 63 and the 77 cars. Kevin Monroe is going to go out of the race after leading every lap so far, and Jim Hayes had to pit from second to get that damage repaired. This leaves Harry Enola in the lead, but he gets turned around. Another pile-up out of turn 2. Ralph West upside down. The track is completely blocked, and it looks like Radomir Stanichev is going to escape with the lead. Here it is again. Watch for the 125 of Cade Taylor to get into the back of Harry Asinola. Cade Taylor is a lap down, so is Ralph West, and everybody just kind of converges on the same spot. Stanichev gets turned around by Jim Hayes, who's going to get away from this and get one of his laps back. Stanichev gets turned around, but he quickly stomps on the gas and is going to escape with the lead. And that is George Bryan making a nice recovery into second, but Stanichev blows up under caution. Roos Autosports engineers have still not gotten their act together, even when faced with the daunting task of preparing a car for a 30-mile race. This is going to put George Bryan in the lead. On your screen right now is the entire remainder of the field, and we're not even 50 laps in, but we've still got quite a bit of action going on as Ryan Griffin challenges George Bryan for the lead. Griffin with the preferred line, running 3 wide with the lapped car of Jim Hayes. Laura Ocean and Cade Taylor on the tail end of the lead lap now, and Ryan Griffin is going to clear George Bryan for the race lead. Bryan finds his way back to the inside, but Griffin is going to pull away. Griffin now being challenged by Jim Hayes, trying to get another one of his laps back. George Bryan still trying to use the 77 as a pick to get by the 86, but Bryan is not able to get a run on either of these guys, and Griffin is very strong on the outside of turn 2. So George Bryan does not have many opportunities to close up. Here's the battle for third between Joe Rodriguez and Nick Azure. Ryan Matthews sits behind them, waiting to pounce on any mistake that they might make. And on lap 56, that mistake does happen as Rodriguez washes up into Azure and takes them both into the wall. Ryan Matthews sneaks by, even though he did get a bit of damage from that. Nick Azure would spend several laps in the pits getting his damage repaired. And George Bryan in the 81 hits the pit lane with a puncture from second. Ryan Griffin continues to lead the race, Ryan Matthews in second, and the lapped cars of Brian George and Jim Hayes in between them. That previous caution would benefit Cade Taylor and Laura Ocean. They were in front of the leader when the caution came out, and they came around and rejoined the back of the pack. The back of the pack being only 5 cars long at this point, but nonetheless they did gain some ground as Ryan Matthews' race comes to an end on lap number 96. However, with so few cars left in the race, he still finished in the top 10. Joe Rodriguez now in second place, Cade Taylor third. Rodriguez and Taylor, now with 50 laps to go, are on track for a couple of more good finishes this weekend. However, they're not going to be catching Ryan Griffin anytime soon, as Griffin has pulled out to about a 4-second lead, although he's stuck in between a whole bunch of lap cars. Brian George lunges to the inside, trying to get one of his laps back, and while Ryan Griffin is able to hold him off, he is starting to lose some time to second place Joel Rodriguez. And just ahead you see Nick Azure several laps down at this point. Joel Rodriguez has slowly been chipping away at Ryan Griffin's lead as Griffin deals with all those lapped cars. And then, with less than 10 laps to go, Nick Azure blows up in front of Ryan Griffin, holding him up. Here comes Joel Rodriguez. Rodriguez to the inside in turn 3. Griffin back on the gas now. Jim Hayes, the 77, now back on the lead lap, and not making life easy for either Griffin or Rodriguez. But Griffin gets that run off the outside of 2, and he's going to clear Rodriguez and keep the lead. Ryan Griffin has been bouncing around from ride to ride here in the FARC Elite Series for the past few years, but he's never won a race in any form of professional stock car racing, but that's all about to change as he takes the white flag with a very comfortable lead over Joel Rodriguez. Ryan Griffin's reputation in motorsports has been shaky to say the least, but he's been working to put it all behind him as he takes his first FARC Elite Series victory here at the Karl Superstore. Griffin led 101 laps and claims the lap leader bonus. Cade Taylor wins the High Climber Award after starting in 19th and finishing 3rd. Laura Ocean, Jim Hayes, and Brian George were the only other people to finish the race. And now let's take a look at the point standings leaving the Karl Superstore's Showdown. Ryan Matthews and Jim Hayes find themselves with a very big lead over everyone else. Kevin Monroe and Zachary Zins now find themselves in the top 5. Lev Azarov and Radomir Stanichev have vaulted all the way to 7th after coming into this race 18th. They get the tiebreaker over Rachel Rainsford because of Stanichev's win this weekend. Harry Asinola rounds out the top 10. That was a very big jump for him as well. And on the other hand, we have some drivers who have lost a lot of ground. Laura Cyrus is down to 9th, and Jason Bates has fallen to 18th after neither of them could get out of the sprints. And now looking at the Rookie of the Year battle, Reed Bullitt is still on top, although Vincenzo Focusato has chipped away a little bit at his lead. Cade Taylor is up to 3rd from 5th, while Jeremy Baker has fallen to 6th. And if you look towards the back of the field, you'll see that Maury Holter has overtaken Ryan Barrett for 19th after Holter finished 9th in his sprint.